Hi folks, Bob Reese here with the guides forecast for Friday the 16th of September, day 2 of the Buoy 10 reopener. And as you might have heard me express in the report section for the lower Columbia River, a very disappointing Buoy 10 opener today. It puts me in a bit of a quandary for what should happen tomorrow. We got to find these fish. I certainly think they're here, but not biting. It's extremely uncommon to have this many fish, if they are indeed salmon, in the estuary without having some good fishing on top of them. So I've seen that happen for Chinook, but really haven't seen that happen for coho. So it's perplexing. I really don't know how to craft this forecast. I'll tell you what I think should happen, but whether it happens or not, I care not to stick my foot in my mouth 2 days in a row, as I thought it'd be epic fishing this morning. But again, we're going to have a high tide first thing in the morning. You might have enough of an incoming tide trickle to fish the humps above the bridge on the Washington side, catch that last part of incoming tide. Hopefully you're going to be looking to troll between 2.5 and 3.5 miles an hour over the humps, we call them, upstream of the bridge, Washington side. And not a bad idea to make the first pass after tide change along the same shallow sand flats there. There's enough of a push that you should expect, if some biting coho do come into the system, that they will be on those shallower sand flats. And the humps typically ranges between 23 and 25 feet above the ridge on Washington side, but also on stronger incoming tides will go a little further to the south of the humps and fish that 16, 17, 18 foot of water, and a lot of coho will wash up on those shallower flats to the south of what we call the humps on the bigger tide pushes. Not an extremely hard push tomorrow. We're running into a weakening tide series. Under those conditions, I've seen some good bites downstream of the church. I don't think we're quite to the low tide exchange where I expect those fish to be in the deep water down there, but we got to find them. Nobody really has yet today, anyway, on the opener, but there's just got to be a bunch of fish around. Just got to get them to bite. So anyway, first part of outgoing tide, I don't know if I deviate from my previous strategies, which is to do the downstream troll, Washington side. Anglers may want to try the Oregon side. I just can't believe it's going to be more productive than the Washington side. It certainly has been the case before, but it's not the most consistent strategy to catch Buoy 10 coho is to fish the Oregon side or the Anchorage. But as we go into the weekend and early next week, when the tides are really low exchange, we can have really good fishing above Tongue Point. Now I gotta double check to see if that reach is even open. The regulations might keep us from fishing above Tongue Point to avoid any Chinook interaction. We still have to pay attention to that, but certainly shouldn't have been a problem today because we had a hard time with coho interaction in the Buoy 10 fishery. So anyway, you'll have to stick to probably below the bridge, and you'll if you're going to try and fish that first incoming push and the rip when it comes through Buoy 10, you'll be fishing a little bit later in the afternoon. Unless you have some high degree of confidence that you can catch fish on a strong outgoing tide in the morning, you may consider a later morning start tomorrow. I am going to fish the ocean because it does look like another friendly ocean and a friendly bar, and hopefully get out there where there is definitely some biting biomass and catch some of those coho that are out there. And I'm gonna start my ocean effort there probably around Buoy 3. Have also a good history of catching good numbers of coho at Buoy 3 close to high tide. I might miss the very part of high tide if I don't get out there early enough, but I'll be parking myself right around Buoy 3 and trolling west by southwest, and see if we can find some biters. I think Buoy 3 is probably about 100 foot deep, so I'm going to start there early. If I don't get bites, work my way out. But I'm not sure I have a high degree of confidence that 300 foot of water is going to produce. If those fish disappeared, relatively speaking, from between yesterday and today, I have got to believe the assumption to be that they're headed into the river mouth and therefore should be closer to the river versus farther away. So definitely a lot of variables, as always with fishing, but a little less confident in my forecasting for tomorrow than I was yesterday, but that didn't turn out so well for Buoy 10 anglers. So I'm going to stick with spinners with chunk baits and the spin fish. Both were producing well on the ocean today. No reason why that wouldn't work in the river as well. So Jason at Story Bait and Tackle should have fresh anchovies. Do call before 2 o'clock p.m. And we'll keep you informed with these reports. Good luck if you get out fishing tomorrow. I'll try and give another update for weekend fishermen. Hopefully the river improves.